at the first problem of section 5 of chapter 7. We're going to find angle measures. Okay, so here's our pentagon, and it's a regular pentagon. That's a big thing. Okay, and we want to find these angles. Angle 1, so angle 1 from here to here is the same. So this angle right here is angle 1. It's the same as this one, and this one, this one, and this one. Because if we look at it, the circumscribed circle goes around the edge like that. That's not a very good one. We know the distance around there, right, is our circumference, but the angle at which it opens from the center and goes all the way around is 360 degrees. Okay, and if we have 5 sides cutting it evenly, a regular pentagon, all these angles will be the same. So if I take 360 and divide by 5, I get 72. So that means angle 1 is 72 degrees. Same thing with this one, and with this one, with this one, and this one. They're all 72. So measure of angle 1 equals 72 degrees. Okay. All right. And then this angle also from here to here is 72. Okay. So then they want this angle right here in between. Well, what does that apothem do to this angle of 72 degrees? Well, it cuts it in half, right? So this interior angle around the circle about the circle, or center, sorry, that's always going to be 360 because we can always make a circle out of this middle one, right? We can always just draw a circle. Here, 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 that's 360 degrees. So if I have a regular any anagon, I can just divide by my number of sides, and that will give my interior angles about the center. So that's how I can always find measure of angle 1 if angle 1 is always these ones. Okay. If I want to find 2, well, that apothem is just going to cut that in half. It's going to bisect that. So measure of angle 2 is half of that, 36 degrees. Okay. All right. So if that's 36 degrees, what do we also know the apothem does to this bottom side? Well, it creates 90 degrees. So if this right angle is right there, I have 90 degrees, and this angle 2 is 36 degrees. Can I figure out what this third angle here is down here? Well, can I just take 90 minus 36? 4 would be 40, so 54, right? Because doesn't all three always have to add up to 180? And if one of them's 90, that means these two have to equal 90, right? Because all three of them add up to 180. So that measure of angle 3 is 54 degrees. So it's 54 degrees. So measure of angle 1, if they're labeled this way always, then it will always be 360 divided by n. Measure of angle 2, again, if they're labeled this specific way, right? Angle 2 is being the one bisected by the apothem, then it's going to be just this divided by 2. And when I divide this by 2, I'm multiplying by 1/2. Multiplying by 1/2, the 2 and the 360 would cancel out. So I'd get 180 over n. So 180 over n. And then to get angle 3, I would just take that 180 over n and minus it from 90. Okay, or you could say it this way. Measure of angle 2 is measure of angle 1 divided by 2. Measure of angle 3 is 90 minus measure of angle 2. That won't erase. Let's see if it'll erase now. There we go. Okay, so that's how you can do these. Okay. So these are labeled the same way too. So measure of angle 1 would be 360 over n, however many sides you have. Remember, this one is a regular octagon, so how many sides are on a regular octagon? Measure of angle 2 would be measure of angle 1 minus, or divided by 2, or times by 1/2, and measure of angle 3 is 90 minus measure of angle 2. Okay, so that's how you do problem number 1. Go ahead and try that. Got it.